I have the stream on. That's
Oh, Twitch says the title is invalid. Maybe because of your name. So I need to change it.
Exactly what I thought.
Wow. And so we are currently live on Facebook, but we're not live on Twitch. This has never happened before. There we go. Now we are live. Board games, it's what we're talking about. Board games, I'm not gonna shout. I am starting off this morning with a little bit of singing. Although maybe for you it's evening. And okay, well, let's just get on with streaming. And if you look behind that person, you will see a big collection of games in front of which is Yoda, whose name Twitch did not allow me to. Yeah, I'm trying to actually sing something meaningful with rhymes, but it never happened before. So in this unprecedented move, there's about 5 seconds of content that's exclusive to Facebook and YouTube, where I'm like, oh my god, Twitch doesn't allow that. I mean, for goodness sake, it's like Richard, and so many people shorten Richard to Dick. I mean, it's Dick Whittington, Dick Van Dyke. Why can you not? And for some reason, they think that it's going to be. Anyway, so apparently you can't have that in the title. So hello, Xate, it is lovely to see you, and hello, Elaine, it is lovely to see you. And yeah, today I am meeting DutchYoda. So today is another episode of the Busy Beats and Board Game Blether, and today we are meeting Dick DutchYoda Rensema. And I guess I have to change the title of this in future because I'm not even allowed to use your name. How does that make you feel?
Well,
I would be pretty annoyed.
Well, I got made fun of during preschool, high school, middle school, because everybody knows what the alternative meaning of my name is, so I got used to it. So and I recently watched the history of swearing, and my name came up in that as well. So it doesn't get bleeped out all the time. It depends on the context.
Sorry, I know that this is a word apparently banned by Twitch, but hopefully given the context that I am saying it to your name, it will be totally okay. But yeah, it's just crazy that you can't even... I remember what it was. There was some other words that I couldn't even work out. Why is this word being banned by all these? Sometimes places are really weird. Anyway.
Yeah, yesterday I said twist in some chat and it got banned. And like, twist? Seriously?
Yeah, it's such fun. Anyway, today we are meeting... I'm just going to call you your internet name from now on, I guess. We are meeting DutchYoda, also known in the real world. Are you actually known Dick Rensema to your friends, or
my friends know me.
Okay, so DutchYoda literally just an internet name.
yeah, because I had issues with my name as well when I tried to use it as usernames. So I switched it way. Oh, when was it? I was at the university then, so it's more than 20 years ago. I used the Yoda in chat rooms when we had our IRC chats, and later on, well, Yoda was taken overall. So when it went more global, so I added Dutch to it.
And hello, CD.
ICD.
I see the thing saying, Dutch, I should have, or Yoda, I should have checked with you. There's a wee tab on the right-hand side of your screen, it should be, where you see private chats, and you can also change that to see the comments from everyone else coming in.
Oh,
So,
cool.
yeah. You know what? If you do this, then you can sort of, yeah, we can make it work, and then maybe I can watch it back on the YouTube or something.
Yeah, just send me the questions and then I'll interview myself. I'll be hard on myself.
Oh, you know, your own harshest critic. Do you want to explain why we've done this? Like, explain the whole idea of this mentorship and all this thing, which I don't know how this is going to work out, but explain what's going on here for anyone who wasn't there in Matthew Dunstan's stream, I believe it was.
Yeah, it was a Matthew Dunstan stream. Yeah, he was talking about mentorship, and I was saying, well, I would love to have a mentor because during Idol Michael's game jam, I created a small flip and write, and I wanted to develop it more further. And you said, well, I would love to mentor, and that's how we came together. I said, well, okay, then you can be my mentor if you want to. It's that easy.
Pretty much. So I suggested, you know what, maybe let's try something. Let's have a mentorship live. So this is our first thing. We're going to meet together maybe, I don't know what we said, like 6 times every couple of weeks approximately. And then today is going to be mainly about meeting you and establishing what you're trying to do. And each fortnight thereafter, we're going to be checking in with you, how you're getting on, and maybe giving some sorts of vague tasks. And yeah, exactly. And no, don't worry, this is just a preview of the topic. You know, we do the preview for like a couple of minutes. This is just me. And so this whole stream, yeah, everybody in chat is welcome to mentor DutchYoda potentially. And so if you have any stuff to say to DutchYoda along the way, then sure, you can chime in. But we will see what happens. Let us get to the first of our regular things. Of course, we will get to the recent highlights, brilliant thing, and questionably quick questions. So let's go for it and talk about recent highlights, living life and seeing the sights, recent highlights, playing games and other delights, recent highlights. What are your recent highlights? Let us know in the chat. And Yoda, let us know, what have you been enjoying in the past few days?
Yesterday, I went to my parents. So they are allowed one visitor from out of the house, but since I'm also family, it's a little bit blurry, so I took my son as well, and we played Furnace and we played Ticket to Ride Europe, and that was fun. And she cut my hair and trimmed my beard.
Ooh. Let's get a close-up. Looking good. I approve. Very smart.
Yeah, I'm happy. It was very long and getting really itchy. It bothered me, so it was time to take it off.
Take it off. Anyway, so yesterday, my own personal recent highlight is having Parent A coming back, and not going to show photos of a selfie, but I will say that we got to play a couple of cards games together. I decided not to go with my new game of My City because Parent A was a bit tired, let's say, maybe not in the mood to learn anything new. So we played a bunch of spades. That was good times. We also played a bit of Rummy, which continues to be Parent's #1's favourite game. And yeah, with Rummy, there is a lovely aspect of each turn. You've got this whole puzzle to work out, how you can rearrange the stuff. And the other recent highlights, obviously, the main highlights was really having Parents back home and yeah, knowing that they're okay and no longer in hospital, which is fantastic. And yeah, just walking around and seeing the lovely sights. And yeah, so that's a weird wall. That's I thought looked quite cool. But yeah, that is some of my recent highlights. And if anyone else has, Xate says, I was wondering how you got it done so evenly. Your mom helped. That explains everything. And
Well,
Xate says, take
well,
it
the
off.
top half, yeah. The bottom half I can do myself, but my machine broke.
Yeah, if you've got a set of clippers and you just set them to a particular number, then that's not too hard if you're just shaving your entire head. But yeah, if anyone else has any recent highlights, feel free to let us know. What games have you played? And Yoda, can you let us know a wee bit about Furnace? Because I don't know anything about that one.
Furnace still has to come out in Europe. It's from Hobby World. I won it during the Dice Tower contests. They had a stream during Essence Spiel, I think. And I entered and I won Furnace. And it took them only 37 days to get it from Russia to me. So it was in customs for like 21 days.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like they said, well, should be in there by within 2 weeks, and then I saw, okay, it's moving. Then it's stuck at Russian customs, and then it moved again. And December 16th, it was here in the Netherlands, and I was like, when will it move? And I got it on January 4th or something.
Well, very nice. And so, how does it play?
It's engine building with a bidding part, and first you bid on buildings. Everybody has 4 discs, 4 to 1, and a higher number bids, but you can never have the same number on a building or your own color, so you cannot raise your bid by putting 2 discs there. Then you get your buildings, and then you run your engine with those buildings. And some buildings can be upgraded and do better. It's basically very simple, straightforward, but you really have to think of how do I want to win those buildings. Because if you don't win the bid, you get the top part, which is mostly resources, but sometimes you can exchange resources, and that depends on the disc you played. So if you lose a bid, but you still played at 3, then you get 3 times what it says. If you only at the 1, then you get 1 time what it says.
And that is Furnace. And yeah, you're able to play it with your family. Is your child quite small?
No, my son is almost 15.
Okay, so it's not like, oh, wow. But I'm just curious, is your son, like, would you describe Furnace as a game suitable for non-gamers, or is it quite a gamery game?
Well, the issue with engine builder is mostly, it's gamery, because you have to figure out how you're building your engine, but the rules itself are pretty simple to grasp.
Yeah, and I guess with engine builders, there's always the risk of the runaway leader, and if someone knows what they're doing and other people don't, then they're going to be like, oh my god, that person in the end got 1 million points, and here I am with 27, or something like that. Yeah.
I came in last.
Just have...
I had 1 round of no scoring, and that hurt me.
So CD and I hope I said hello. It's lovely to have you in chat, of course. Went to a barbecue housewarming at a friend's place. Oh, that sounds like, so I guess it's about 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock in New Zealand. But went to barbecue housewarming at a friend's place. Listened to the Wellerman Shanty TikTok all the way. Great stereo in my car. So just on repeat. Wow, that sounds like quite a thing. Like, how long was this journey that you were just listening to this one song on repeat? And apparently it is 11:15 in New Zealand. And yeah, there's been some difficulties with sending posts, but yeah, apparently 1 hour of just listening to this one song. That sounds quite intense to me. You look like you wouldn't do that, Yoda.
No, I'm not a singer per se anyway, so but I heard this chanty on YouTube lately because Stephen Colbert did it.
I heard it because my parents love watching Channel 4 News, and they actually had a wee thing in between all the all the sad stuff about COVID and about Brexit, and they said, hey, in slightly lighter news, here's a video that's gotten like 3-4 million downloads so far, and everyone's having a bit of fun time, and anyone can do their own version if they want. And then they interviewed the person who sang it in the first place. I mean, it wasn't really an in-depth interview. It was just saying, oh, has it been fun? Yeah. And what does this song mean to you? Oh, it's just joyful. It's just pure fun. And then, then a couple of the news reporters actually got in there on the act. One of them was playing the violin. One of them was singing along to the song. So yeah, I can totally dig it. I add my own variations as I listen, says CD. I can get that because I think these songs are designed so that everyone can layer it on and keep it building. But yeah, those sounds like lovely things. And talking about lovely things, let's talk about our brilliant thing. What's a little thing which is brilliant?
Yep. Well, I mentioned it. For me, it's parenting.
Yes.
Today, I thought about it just this morning, and I was like, "Oh, I need a brilliant thing." So, parenting, just raising a child. I hope for the child is brilliant, but he's a teenager by now, so he doesn't think like that. But for me, okay. When we fight, of course, it happens, but it's just a brilliant thing to see so this tiny and then get this big and get smarter and wiser and sometimes talk back to you in a way you don't want to, but okay. It's just awesome to see them grow and listen to what you teach them.
Oh, that does sound lovely. I don't know. I mean, I enjoy having nibblings. Like, my siblings have children. Two of them, I believe, are 10 and 8. And 2 of them were just born this year and I've not seen them yet. But yeah, the ones who are 7 and 8, when we meet, it's like, okay, we get to play games and I get to be a little bit of an influence in their life and maybe teach them a little bit about music or help them read or stuff. And maybe I'm taking care of them for a week even, because I give myself most of the week off and then I help out with my sibling. And I almost feel like I've got the best of both worlds in some ways. So, because I get to enjoy the children, be a presence in their lives, and feel like, okay, I've contributed to the development of this other human, but I don't have this responsibility, and I still get to travel around at the drop of a hat if it were not for COVID. So if it was someone like me who's like, oh, I don't know if I even want to have any children anytime, I've kind of gotten to peace with not having children, what would you say are the best parts about being a parent?
Best parts. Ooh. Yeah, I love it all every time when and like today after this I will drop my son off at my ex, and then I will miss him for 2 weeks, and that's the worst part actually when you're a single parent and have co-parenting. But yeah, when he's here, yeah, just talking about everything, school, girls, because he's into girls now, so we talk about that, and teaching to be respectful, because somehow with the current music scene, yeah, they're not used to being respectful to girls. So yeah, it's the entire package actually. Of course, fights aren't fun, but they are a rite of passage. You need to go through them to grow and understand each other better. He wants to have more responsibility, so he's gonna push his boundaries, and yeah, and then you have fights about those, and then you talk about them, and then you see him grow, and that's awesome.
Hmm. Yeah, I think what you touched upon there, just seeing someone grow up and having that nurturing. I think there's a Jewish thing which is naches, which is pride, but not in your own accomplishments, but pride in feeling that you've allowed someone else to achieve their accomplishments, if you know what I mean. And it, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing this word correctly, but it's, yeah, a lovely thing. And thank you very much for the kudos, Elaine. Oh, and Sate says, I don't really know my nephews. They are in the USA, and my bro is not great at getting on video chats with them. That is
Not too bad.
sad to hear. And I think it's, in some ways, it's kind of inevitable when you're far away, especially with wee kids. They don't often have the perseverance or inclination to talk to someone older for very long. And okay, when are I'm trying to work out how old, 9 months old. Maybe they don't have much of a choice. It's just, hey, look at your relatives from literally the other side of the earth. Look at how they are. And even though they might be in Australasia and we might be in Europe, we can still communicate, which is amazing. I mean, for goodness sake, CD came on and technology is really amazing. And I just can't get over it sometimes, how amazing it is. But at the same time, once they've got their own sense of agency, I think it's difficult to get them involved. Yeah, that's kind of the time at which they're probably more engaged with scanning the world for, oh, there's this thing that I can touch and feel. Good night, CD.
Good night, CD.
And Sate says, Bram seems like a neat kid and you seem like a great dad.
Ah, thank you. And he is neat most of the time.
Mm. And I know we mean neat in the American sense, but it just makes me wonder, is Bram actually neat in the English sense? As in tidy?
No. And he gets that from me.
That's fair. Yeah. So, yeah, parenting, a brilliant thing to fill yourself with, to enjoy the accomplishments that you're kind of helping someone else facilitate. I guess that's also a little bit of the joy of mentoring in some ways. That's hopefully, I'm hoping that as a result, I mean, not today, we're not going to get totally stuck into it until next time, but hopefully along the way we will have something and it will be of some help and use. I don't know. I literally do not know how this will go. But it's time for everybody's favorite section, which is questionably quick questions. This is me kind of attacking the screen. It looks like I don't know even what's going on. But first question, where exactly are you and what time is it? And every other question, people in chat, feel free to ask.
Well, I am in Lelystad in the Netherlands, and it's currently 11:24 a.m.
The next question, do you have a new couch? It looks more comfy than the chair you're normally in.
No, I'm sitting at the exactly same chair, but I have the same chair on my left and on my right. So I have 3 chairs here. See, I'm sitting on 3 chairs.
Wow.
Show us your shirt.
Yeah. Xates asks if we could see our t-shirts. Let's heart.
Heart. Yeah, that's from the Brothers Murph. Just be kind to each other.
Nice. The sorts of pride rainbow flag. Without looking, can you list your games from one side to the other?
Technically, most of it, at least the Portal side, I can.
Okay,
but
go.
I'm also looking at the screen so I can see myself in front of me. So I would be cheating. So it would be a little bit hard to.
Yeah. So, I mean, do you want to try covering up the screen and see if you can do it? Move the window.
Yeah, I minimize the window. So at the beginning, am I pointing the right way?
Yes.
So we start with alien artifacts. Then we get Legacy, then the expansion for Legacy. Then there are the 2 Tides of Time and Tides of what's the other one? Madness. Then we have Convoy. Then we have that's the Polish version of Mysterium, which I cannot pronounce. Then we have Crazy Cards, Rattle Battle, Detective, Dig Deeper, and Detective LA. Then we have some more cases for detectives, some sheets for Imperial Settlers Roll and Ride, Robinson Crusoe Mystery Tales, Robinson Crusoe Voyage of the Beagle, Robinson Crusoe Treasure Chest. Then I believe it's Star Wars Armada. Then Imperial Salt, an expansion from Imperial Salt. And then I had a little accident in this cabinet, so I moved it all around because I had some water dropping down from a purifier over there. So normally it would be, at least Potion Explosion would be there. But Tokaido was there, but I can see it's over there, so it's not there anymore. And no Cuba Libre, I moved over there. And Cold Express moved over there because I needed some space moving it from Western Legends. That's why it's down behind me. And which game did I fill in? I believe it was a Hammer game. I don't know which one. Oh, I can see the key. I can see the key right by my knee. So it must have been Dragon Draft, right? So that's the top row.
That's very impressive. Could you do the second row now?
Second row. Imperial Settlers, Rise of the Empire, Imperial Settlers, Empires of the North, 51st State, Imperial Settlers Roll and Ride. Let's see what order then it would make sense to have. After 51st State would be Monolith Arena, Neuroshima Hex, Cry Havoc, Theseus, Witchcraft. No, is it called Witchcraft? Yeah, I think it's called Witchcraft. I haven't played that one yet. It's a 2-player Portal game, really old. Then Pret-a-Porter, First Martians. And then it's not a Portal game, so I have to guess. Because the Portal one is easy.
Ooh.
Because I'm a Portal
you
game.
just know all the Portal games by heart.
Yeah, but because they always go back at the same spot. And the rest of the cabinet moves around. It's not Western Legends because that's one shelf lower. What did I move up there? I don't know anymore. Yeah, I work for Portal.
Hey, what do you mean? Yeah, works for Portal?
Back up because I forgot, so I'm stuck. What is it? Oh, it is Western Legends. Oh, see, I'm wrong. I thought the Western Legends was one more down.
I'm disappointed. I thought you I thought you were doing this genuinely. I mean,
I
we
was,
had.
I was, but then I thought I don't know anymore, so I put the screen back up.
Okay, so you just gave up. So you were
I gave
doing
up.
those 1, 2, 3,
The
4,
portal
5,
ones
6,
are
7,
easy. I can
8.
do them
So
by
those
almost by
8
head.
cubes you actually did legit.
Yeah, I did.
That's very impressive, I've got to say. And good morning, Alex. It is lovely to see you. And I agree that I am seriously impressed. I would not be able to remember, even when I'm trying to find my own games, I don't have like I know some people have like, okay, this is my Calyx Square for the games I worked on. Even for that, like mine are kind of higgledy-piggledy, and it's like, oh, where's my copy of Kitty Cataclysm? Or hey, where's my copy of Chocolate Factory? Or hey, where's anyway? But
Yeah.
no, how many
Well,
games do you have then?
I think around 300, 350, somewhere between that.
Okay, so these are like the games that are your favorites and you put them back in a special place. Is that what's going on?
Currently, I have been moving stuff around because my shelves are getting too full, so I have to. Oh, waiting. What did happen? Looking for phone. Uh-oh.
And Xate says she
should be
never
back. Yeah.
puts. Yep, you are back. Never puts her games back in the same spots except for Scythe. It has a shrine. Alex says one of their favorite games is trying to fit everything onto the shelf. So we'll get into your game collection in a wee bit, but there were some other questions. So what's your favorite game that isn't Robinson Crusoe?
Oh, is it that obvious that Robinson Crusoe is my favorite because it's in the middle at the top? Where there? So I am so bad at mirroring my own fingers. It's there. Yeah, I own everything, but I own everything Portal that's been published in English as well. My favorite game. So my number 2 game would be Mansions of Madness, which normally would have been here, but I played it and it's over there by some some other table.
What do you wish people knew about the Netherlands that we might not? I mean, frankly, some people might not even realize that the Netherlands is a place because some people, I'm not looking at anyone. Yep, I'm not looking at anyone. Might just be really bad at geography.
Well, we're only one ocean apart, one sea apart, just the North Sea. Well, a lot of people still call it Holland, and Holland is just 1/6 of the Netherlands. So there are 2 provinces that are called Holland, and the rest are called differently. So if you talk about Holland, you're talking about the most dense population part of the Netherlands. That's true, because I think you talk about 40 to 50% of the whole population of the Netherlands live in those 2 provinces. But yeah, there's more to it. Holland is just North and South Holland with Amsterdam, The Hague, Rotterdam. But yeah, there's more to it than just those provinces.
And Xate says, I know you like it best. And
I think she's talking about Robinson Crusoe.
I like to reorganize when I get new games. Where does it fit and look pretty? I recently moved the game to a less desirable shelf so I could put Tawan Tinsuyu next to Terraforming Mars. Okay, so what's your favorite Star Wars film? Asks Alex.
My favorite Star Wars film is Rogue One.
Okay.
It
So
used to
that's
be
episode
The
7,
Empire
right?
Strikes Back, but no, the Rogue One is between episode 3 and episode 4 is when they get the plans for the Death Star. It's just kind of a spin-off movie. It's not in an official trilogy.
Cool. Hollandaise or mayonnaise? Are you familiar with Hollandaise sauce?
Nope. And I know there is a mayonnaise joke in Pulp Fiction, because American mayonnaise is not the same as Dutch mayonnaise, and maybe with Dutch mayonnaise they mean hollandaise. Then I would say hollandaise, and otherwise it's mayonnaise.
Okay, I'm going to look it up very quickly. So, Hollandaise sauce, formerly also called Dutch sauce, is an emulsion of egg yolk, melted butter, and lemon juice, seasoned usually with salt and either white pepper or cayenne pepper. And that's from Wikipedia.
Yeah, sounds like Dutch mayonnaise. Yeah.
Oh wow, that is what you call mayonnaise.
I think so. I'm not 100% sure. Well,
Wow.
I can pick up a bottle of mayonnaise and look at it. The ingredients are the same.
I mean, it certainly looks a lot more yellow and creamy than
it's creamy.
Whereas mayonnaise, as I know it, is maybe more dense and it sticks together. Maybe you could almost call it more gloopy.
Okay.
Okay. Would you rather give up baseball or Star Wars?
So only for myself or globally? If I have to give up one of the two, I think it still would be baseball.
And would it change?
My son recently quit baseball last year, so it's only me playing baseball, and I can it's easily to quit. And I love the Mandalorian and everything that's coming out soon. No, not soon. At the end of the year with the Book of Boba Fett and everything. So Star Wars for me.
Would you rather spend a day as a shark or a pigeon? So, I mean, this kind of goes into, would you rather be a big, aggressive predator and be able to swim down deep, or would you rather be able to fly?
I would rather be a pigeon and crap on people I don't like. As a shark, I just have to hope that they enter the water. If a pigeon, I hope they just leave the building.
Wow, you're really vindictive. Okay. And yeah,
I want crap in you, say.
I mean, are you going to go for specific people and target specific individuals that you dislike?
I don't have anybody in mind yet. Well, maybe a certain president or something, but besides that, no.
I mean, if you're a pigeon and you're transformed into a pigeon in the Netherlands, getting all the way over to America might be a bit beyond your power.
Well, they found a pigeon that traveled from, I think it was somewhere in America to Australia.
One day, though.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, they found him, and now they're gonna kill it off, and I was just so sad.
So, hello, Scott. It is lovely to see you. We're just meeting DutchYoda and working out how this person came to be. Speaking of which, would you like to give us your origin story?
My origin story. So my dad and my mother met each other at the disco. I knew that part. And a couple of years later, I was born.
A couple of what later?
A couple of years later.
Okay. I thought you said something different. So I was like, wait a minute, that's not how pregnancy works.
No, they married in 1977. Then they moved to Lelystad, which was just being built. The city didn't really exist back then. So I'm living in a really young city, which has its pluses and its minuses. And then, my mother got pregnant, had some pregnancy issues, so she had to move to a hospital in Amsterdam, because Lelystad didn't have a hospital, because it basically was the city yet. And I was born during those complications, and I was born late. I should have been born a week earlier, but I was late. Oh wait, no, I was late. My sister was late. I was early. I was early because I always joke I was one day early because I wanted to be there for my own birthday.
Yeah. So you have one sibling?
Yeah, I have one sister. She's 1 year, 2 months, 2 weeks, and 2 days younger than me.
Wow.
Yeah,
Very
I remember
precise.
that I remember that as a child, and it stuck with me.
It's got a nice rhythm. 1 week, 2 months, 2 weeks, 2 days.
Yeah. So
That's incredible.
yeah. She's married as well. Also still lives in Lelystad. She works for a pharmaceutical company. Has a niece which is turning 18 this year. Yeah, 18. So in Dutch terms, that means she can drink. In American terms, it means she can drive. In Dutch terms, she also can drive. Well, she's 17 now, so she can start learning to drive already, but not drive yet. Yeah, I have a son who's 15, and I have been divorced for over 13 years now. And I left the
And
whole part out about
going back
schools
to
and
the
that.
questions from...
So, yeah.
Sorry, I think I missed a little bit of the end, so I talked over you. I'm very sorry about
No,
that.
no problem. I can talk about my education, but that's boring.
No, I
What's the
was actually
scariest
going to
thing
go
you
back
have
to that in a minute, but let's ask, what's the scariest thing you have ever done for fun?
ever done for fun? The scariest thing I have done for fun. Well, I don't scare that easily, so that's hard to think.
Have you ever jumped out of a plane?
Not yet. Not yet. It's on my
Bungee
bucket list.
jumping?
I did do bungee jumping, but it wasn't that scary at all. I jumped off a cliff, and that wasn't scary. I jumped off a high bridge. That wasn't scary. I did some mountain climbing. I don't scare that easily. A lot of people are scared for me when I do stuff like that. I don't get that scared.
That's fair. So, in terms of like the thing that scares other people the most that you've done for fun, should we go with bungee jumping, or is there something else that you can think would
When I was a teenager, I went with my sister on a camping trip in south of France, and we went mountain climbing there with the group. Well, not really mountain climbing. We took the bus all the way to the top, and then we could lower us down. And it was about 500 meters high, and the idea was to lower yourself about 10 meters and then climb your way back up. But I accidentally slipped and lowered myself about 50 meters, and I had to climb the way up. And at the halfway point, I was tired because I wasn't used to climbing. So they had to pull me a little bit, and then I got some grip again, and then I could easily do the last part because that was easy part. That's why you wouldn't go lower than that. So yeah, my sister was screaming like, hold on, don't drop. But I was on a rope. They're not going to drop me. It's not comfortable, but I was on a rope.
Yeah, sometimes you need to have faith in the apparatus. I've been on a zip wire, which is, for me, climbing up to the top of that zip line and stepping off is kind of the scary part. And what you need to remember is to have faith in the apparatus. Either you trust it in which case logically you go and you have fun, or you don't trust it. And I know that, sure, fears aren't always logical, but for me, yeah, climbing to the top of this really, really tall thing, even though I think I was strapped in, it was like, oh my God, the ground's going so far away. Now I've got to try and get, and then I've got to jump off. So that slight moment is slightly scary, but managing to commit to it, there's
Yeah,
definitely lots of fulfillment in it.
that first moment when you're in a high spot and you look down, it's like, okay, that's high. But I don't have vertigo, so it's going away pretty fast. If I have vertigo, it's like, but I don't have that. It's like, okay, that's high, and then do it.
And lots of love to state, but hopefully, there'll be other things.
Yeah,
And
I have to
States
lose
also
weight
asks
as well before I do that.
If you could spend
Living in
one day living in a board game world, which board game world would you choose? Which board game would you want to live in that world? Would it be something fantastical? And remember, it's only one day. So even if it's completely monstrous, then as long as you can escape, then you get to run away from all the terrors.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't kill me, I would love to be in a Western. So Cold Express or Western Legends, something like that.
I mean, even if you don't have the guarantee of invulnerability, I think you could probably stay out of the way. I mean, unless you actually go looking for trouble, I don't think anyone's likely to kill you.
Yeah, then it would probably be Western Legends, because in Cold Express I definitely would get shot.
Yeah, that's the rules. That it could kill you if you get shot, but as long as you stay out of the way, keep your head down, just enjoy the sights. Maybe have, I don't know what type of, probably all the whiskey and all the drink is terrible, but go into a bar, I don't know. Presumably you have some currency. I don't know. Maybe you get some spending money when you go there. So you're transported. It's like your mind goes into the mind suddenly of some random NPC from this world.
Yeah. Just do some cattle driving or something.
So going back to your early formative years, so you've got this other child that you've got a small, like 1 year, 2 months, 2 weeks, 2 days separation with. Yeah. And presumably you're quite close, right?
We are now, yeah. When we lived in the same house, we had, just some sibling rivalry, of course. But we are very close right now. If something happens, I'm the second one she calls. She calls my parents first, then she calls me. And then she calls her husband.
Wow. So, what was school like for you?
Well, because of my name, I got picked on a lot. I didn't fight back until I learned some judo. Then I did something to it. I'm not entirely proud of it, but they stopped afterwards, so that helped.
Yeah, I totally get that. It's can be really difficult as a child if you've got anything that can make you a target.
Yeah.
So
but, yeah,
did you?
I got over it, and it's okay now.
Do you enjoy? Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, people still think they're funny, even though I heard every joke. There's even one that most non-Dutch people wouldn't understand, I think, because in the Dutch version of Sesame Street, there's a storybook that's called Dickie Dick. It's about a big orange cat. So yeah, I get that joke as well, because yeah, my name is in it twice. And I think, well, you still watch that? You're an adult and you don't even have children. You're still watching Sesame Street? Well, they can't now because Sesame Street is, I believe, it's cancelled in the Netherlands.
What? Why?
I don't know. I believe I heard that it's cancelled. I haven't seen it on the television guide anywhere, so I'm not sure. But I have a child that's 15. He doesn't watch it anyway. So as far as I know, it's cancelled. I believe I heard it in the news sometime, but it's been a while. I might be
Having said
mistaken, but
that, I've definitely seen it on British TV in the past, but I'm not sure if it's even on British TV now. So, yeah, I don't know. It's one of those weird things that it's American, and because of the homogeneity of American culture, everyone just accepts that, of course, you're going to have heard of the American films and TV shows. Of course, you are. And presumably, if people have kids, is that, I mean, do you have friends who have small children? Is that something that they would still watch?
as far as I understand, they're watching. I guess it's called Boomba, some animation clown thing, and that's about it that I know of. Because at some TV shows that talked about Barney the purple dinosaur, I never heard of Barney purple dinosaur. Barney was the neighbor of Fred Flintstone for me.
Yeah. And hello, Rob.
Hi,
It's
Rob.
lovely to have you. We're here with DutchYoda, and DutchYoda is just talking about their formative years, and feel free to jump in with any questionably quick questions that you might have. And I was just curious how you got on with your lessons at school. Did you enjoy them? Did you do your homework on time, or were you a lackadaisical troublemaker?
Well, at elementary school, and I did. I outperformed, especially in mathematics. I did pretty good. My grammar was almost always perfect for a young child. Middle school, I did okay. It started out great, but I already went ahead with mathematics. So when I hit middle school, I was 2 years ahead, and then they said, "Well, maybe, but you're still going to do it anyways." So I started with good grades, but I lost momentum in my mathematics. So then my grades went down because, I did nothing for 2 years. And then gradually everything went down. I still graduated on the, what we called VWO, which means it's the highest possible grade you can get on middle school. So I still managed to do that. Then, there's a Dutch school system, so I have to figure out which school system is the other way around. So I think college is the next one, right? And then I got to university, which college went just smooth sailing, no real issues there. And then I went to the university, spent 2 years there, tried to do two studies at once, which was stupid for me to do. Then I dropped down a level, and I finished that, got in a fight with my verbal fight with my teachers there, and dropped out. And then I went to work. I started working at a grocery store right around the corner from me here. Worked there for 7 years, and then started working at an internet company and switched through multiple internet companies until the one that I'm working for right now. And the reasons I switched, this one was I was getting through my divorce, and she wanted me to work closer. So that's one of the reasons.
What were you doing at these internet companies?
I build websites. I still do.
Okay. Nice. So like PHP and other sorts of languages?
Mostly PHP. The first company was worked in Cold Fusion, and the other companies worked in PHP.
I assume you're happy for me to show all your Instagram pictures. I mean, they are. I believe they are all public.
So yeah.
So yeah, and talking of Colt Express, now let's get a wee bit into games. How did you first fall in love with board games?
Yeah, of course. No, I talk about it like it's a natural thing, but yeah, we had Monopoly, we had Scrabble at home, we had Risk at home, so we played those games. My mother was very into hearts. My father was into klaverjassen, and I don't know the English word for that, but there is an English word for that. It's when I don't really know the. Maybe I can find it. Let me open a window.
I mean, it definitely seems like you've gravitated away from those games. I mean, since you mentioned hearts, I'm just curious now. What do you think of The Crew?
It's okay. I'm not that fond of trick taking. My parents are, and they really like The Crew, and so I play it with them. And for me, it's like, yeah, okay, it's a trick taking game with a nice twist. I do like the twist that you have to work together. But if you don't understand trick taking, yeah, it's going to be really hard. Even though it's the simplest way of trick taking, just the highest card get it and trump beats all.
Or alternatively, if you don't understand cooperative games, which is the case here, where everybody's quite happy to play spades, but the crew, wait a minute, we're working together? What is this sorcery? And so, yeah. Now, sorry, you were looking up a word before I interrupted you, so please.
Yeah, I haven't found it yet.
DutchYoda's looking up a word. DutchYoda, the name is absurd. DutchYoda, I'm not casting any aspirations upon your name. DutchYoda is working on a Nick game.
I know that there was a fun thing about klaverjassen. There's also it's also big in Hungary. I had a Hungarian colleague, and the rules were almost the same. I think there's just one difference, but I have no idea. I cannot find it anywhere. It's on Board Game Geek. Seriously, klaverjassen is on Board Game Geek. Yeah, it's on Board Game Geek. I didn't know that. Let's see versions. Then I should know. I really forgot the name. So, literally translated, it says Clover codes, but yeah, that's just literally Clover and codes, Klaver and Jassen. So, but it is a game that's similar to it, but I cannot find it anywhere.
Is it Spades?
No, it's definitely not Spades.
Is it a trick-taking game?
Yeah, it's a trick-taking game where you play in teams, just like bridge. And you try to get the most cards, and at the beginning of a round you the first player determines what suit is trump, and order of cards is ace 10, and then king, queen, jack, and then 9, 8, 7, and until 7, because 6 and lower aren't in the game. And for trump, it's jack 10 and jack 9, ace 10, king, queen, 8, 7. So there's a little bit difference there. So, and you try to get most points because the 10 is 10, king is 4, queen is 3, jack is 2, except the jack of trump, because that's 20, and 9, which is called nell. The 9 of trump is called a nell, and that's 15, I believe. And the other numbers aren't worth anything. And ace is 11.
I mean, with the rankings that you've mentioned, I find that maybe I find these arbitrary changings of, okay, what does a thing mean and how valuable is a card?
Yeah.
If there's a game that I think Bezique is another one that maybe swaps things around. I remember playing this with Joel. We would just house rule it to say, let's just use the numbers in the order that we would assume, because otherwise it doesn't feel like it's actually adding anything, at least for us. It's just a weird thing that, sure, it's part of the culture of the game, it's part of the history, but it doesn't really feel like it's adding to it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, there are some differentiations on the rules. You have the Amsterdam variant and the Rotterdam variant, which the Rotterdam variant is meaner, because normally if you play a trump card, you have to out-trump the other person, except when it's your partner. That's the Amsterdam variant. And the Rotterdam variant says, well, you have to, even if it's your partner. So there's that. And there's also called the Utrecht variant, which you can add on both. And that is, instead of determining trump yourself, you take the other cards, so the 2 to 6s, flip that around, and the first player can say, okay, I want that to be trump. And then the second player, if he says no, then the other player will go until everybody says, no, we're not going to play that color. Then the first player can still make a determination on that. Oh, looking at the pictures, they
you're
are
talking
really
about
old.
very much about traditional card games, about Risk, Monopoly, the kinds of things that everyone might know growing up with your family. And do you think gaming is a big thing in the Netherlands? Do you think that every family would play at least these older style games?
Yeah, I think almost every household has a copy of either Monopoly, Scrabble, or Risk, or maybe even Trivial Pursuit. I think those are the most common games. If you walk into a toy store, I think if you look at the game shelf, I think one solid shelf is just Monopoly variants. It's pretty normal, and I don't buy any of those. And then you have the children games that are meant to be funny, but they are funny just once and not anymore. Like my son got a game 2 years back that's still that's literally translated in "Don't step into the poop." And you get blindfolded and you put those rubbery poop figures on the floor, and then walk and don't step in the poop. Maybe it's funny if you're drunk.
I'm familiar with that.
Anymore. It's funny once, and then it's like, okay, it's not funny anymore. Yeah, and after the classic games, or the most common games, in '95 I was introduced to Catan, and then I bought everything from Catan, which I still own, and it's up here in a case which you cannot see, and I cannot take off because there are games on top of it, including one Portal game, which isn't there, but it's up there.
Is that a Portal game that you don't actually like so much, so it doesn't get the pride of place?
No, it doesn't fit pretty in here because it's smaller. Because it's
Which one?
It's Detective Season 1. So
Okay.
it's a little bit smaller. Yeah, and then I bought everything from Catan, everything from Carcassonne, and then I was like, oh, I like games from these companies, which wasn't Milton Bradley, of course. Then it's like, oh, I'm getting those games from those companies, which were sometimes misses, of course. And then I got married, and I didn't have money to buy anything, any games, because she didn't work, and I had to pay for 2 people, then 3 people when my son was born. Then I got divorced, and I'm also switched jobs by then, and I had a colleague that was into gaming, and then I got back into the hobby. And the game that got me back is actually still my number one game. That's Robinson Crusoe. It's
Robinson
not,
Crusoe.
yeah, and that got my parents back into gaming as well, because they only had a deck of cards at home, and that's it. And then I started playing Robinson Crusoe with them, and then they got into gaming as well. Not as much as I do. They have like 2 shelves, and that's it. That's enough. Even though I
Sorry about
didn't heard
that.
that, bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I got my parents a little bit in gaming. Games I wouldn't own myself, but I still would love to play, I give to my parents. So I have a surrogate shelf over there.
And if your parents are playing Robinson Crusoe with you, then presumably they are quite gamery people in that they are ready to really try quite in-depth things. And yeah, would you describe your parents as gamers?
Yeah, as casual gamers. My mother will try anything with me, even if it goes over her head. She will try anything. So when I first got Twilight Imperium, she said, "Sure, I'll play it." And it's like, oh, okay. And then I had to correct her, because her first remark was, I understand why boys like this game. And I like, no, girls like this game as well. It's not just for boys. Come on. So I had to correct her with that. But yeah, sometimes I know she won't like a game, and then I won't bring it. Like engine building isn't her strong suit. She knows it a little bit, but she cannot think about like 5 or 6 steps ahead. Like, I need those cards to combine everything, so I won't play Terraforming Mars. I did bring Furnace, and she did win, so that was a miracle. My father wants really easy games that can be explained in 5 minutes and only plays like in 20 minutes, because it's like, I don't want to sit still for that long. And he's the one who taught me Claviassa, which takes about a whole evening to play a proper tournament.
Speaking of which, I am going to have a wee bit of a stretch. I've decided I'm actually going to have a stream element spot. And hello, Nicholas. It is great to see you.
Hi, Nicholas.
I'm just decided that, it might be good to have a bot reminding me or anyone else who wants to join in to have a wee bit of a stretch every like 40 minutes. That seems reasonable. Like every 39 minutes to just get out of the chair and have a quick wee stretch.
Okay.
But I mean, oh yeah, stretchy time, stretchy time. I'm not going to drink any wine because I don't drink much wine anyway. And it's also early in the day. But if you want to drink the wine early in the day, that's your prerogative. You choose what you want to do. But yeah, just be healthy.
Actually, very good. That felt really good.
There we go. Stretch. Yeah, I should set up the bot to remind us, like maybe every 39 minutes. That seems reasonable.
Yeah.
So, Portal Games made your favorite game ever, and then now you are demoing for them. Can you talk about your love for Portal Games? And what? Yeah, not talk about Portal Games. Talk about their games. Talk about Shevchik.
Talk about Ignacio. He's not watching, is he?
No.
Ignacio is awesome. He's typically Polish, as I understand it. So yeah, you have to get his sense of humor. But he's a nice guy. You can, but he's at conventions. He's very business oriented. He has a full schedule with business meetings. So it's oh, I forgot that picture. Yeah, that was me dressed up as Santa for the company. So we had an office Christmas
Very
party,
nice.
and I thought, well,
Although a very business-like Santa. I mean, you're still wearing your tie, and yeah,
yeah,
wow.
it was black tie dress code. So then I thought, well, okay, I have a black tie, but I still want to party. So I put on a Santa hat and painted my beard white. So that was fun. Hydrate. Oh, sorry, Aqua. So yeah, that was 2 years ago. Yeah, it was 2 years ago this Christmas. 2 Christmases ago.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so
Just over 2
Portal
years, yeah.
Games. Portal Games, yeah. I just started my Twitter account, DutchYoda Place, and I thought, well, there aren't that many Dutch channels to go to, so why not? And then I started my Twitter account, and then I noticed a lot of Dutch channels. So that was fun. And I was thinking about doing a YouTube and also eventually a Twitch channel, which I now do. And meanwhile, the portal, I think they approached me like, well, we need demoers for Essen, and I think it was Essen 2018, 29, yeah, 2018.
I mean, we're
Maybe
definitely at this in 2018 because we have the photographic proof.
Yeah, I think it was when First Martian was launched, right? Then that's 2017, if I'm not mistaken, even. So yeah, then I started demoing. Then I even didn't went to Essen before. It was also my first Essen, and I started demoing at Essen. So that was probably a big mistake. So I visited Essen on Thursday, did the whole thing as a visitor, and then did demos on Friday. And that started a normal thing. And then since then, I have always done demos whenever possible. Sometimes my son's baseball schedule prohibited me to attend some conventions, but for the rest, yeah, I did. Yeah, I'm a lover.
Rob says it's appropriate Aqua doing the hydration reminders, and yeah, I get that that's relevant to water, but no, I'm not going to step into a bath. I'm probably not going to have an actual bath, into next week. But I'm more of a shower. If you are having a shower, does that count as bathing? I feel like to bathe, you need to actually properly immerse yourself. Like you need.
Yeah, I cannot. I don't have a bath. I can shower, but I am not allowed to shower right now, so I have to wash myself.
What do you mean you're not allowed to shower?
Well, now let's put this game out of the way because I'm going to stream this game today. I have my.
Sorry, which game?
You can see my feet are all taped in bandages, and that's both legs.
Oh yeah.
And I cannot shower with that. I had some edema issues, so they tightened. They did a tight wrap with bandages. And now.
How long is that lasting?
2 more weeks, and then I'm done. So I have refreshed them every week. So this Wednesday, I'm gonna go back to the hospital. Then I'm gonna talk to the nice nurse there. We have a little chit chat about the past week, because I come once a week, so we talk about stuff. And the game I'm streaming is Tawatinsuyu. another team
Yeah.
on board and dice. I'm gonna try the solo mode. So after this is done, and I have brought my son to my ex, I'm gonna set it all up on the table here and learn the solo rules because I haven't tried them yet.
Then, and Xates won't have to learn, and Elaine offer sympathies for everything
Thank you.
that.
I can walk around with them. It's just fine. It was a heavy case of edema because I'm sitting still behind the desk. I need to walk around more, and then I started to do so. But that's new
Sorry,
Teotihuacan.
I'm just laughing because people
Actually, it's
keep
not
wanting
because,
me to talk about Teotihuacan.
but it's not the new Teotihuacan because this one is not from Tastini. It's only from
I
Turkey.
think what Rob means is that Rob is going to start using that name in all my guess what game this is, and they are going to start trying to make me sing the name of the game all the time now.
Oh, so Teotihuacan, Trismegistus, Tekenu, Tawantinsiu, and the new Tabanusi?
I don't know. I mean, talking of things or people with difficult to pronounce names, Ignacy Shevchik.
Yep.
So
Still cannot spell it, so don't ask me. I can spell Ignacy, I cannot spell Trevicek.
the important thing to remember is there's a Z after the second consonant. There's a Z after the R. I think it's just like a Polish thing. There's always a Z after the R. Like Gregor is also the same when I used to talk to Gregor from. Anyway, so were you communicating with one of Ignacy's minions, like who was running the things? Were you in contact with Ignacy much?
We had a special Benelux department. So Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg. Even though Luxembourg wasn't really part of it, we had nobody from the Luxembourg, and there weren't any board game conventions over there. So it's mostly Belgium and Netherlands, but yeah, Benelux sounded cooler. We had some people running that, and I joined there, but only for Essen. I would talk directly to either Mary or somebody else. That it changed every year. Who's going to do the demos?
And when you're demoing, would it always be the fresh new things that would be demoed, or are there a whole bunch of games like
Mostly it's new games. If somebody asked me about rules about an older game, I just explain them to them. We don't have a table set up for it, so I cannot break open a game and teach it to them, but I'll explain the rules. But yeah, the nice thing about Portal games is that some of the systems are pretty similar, like 51st State and Imperial Settlers are very much alike, as is Robinson Crusoe and First Martians. Those are also pretty alike. So I can really, if you understand the one, I can really explain the other one very fast.
When you're going to demo a thing, do you think there's a responsibility to understand really the intricacies of what's going on, so you can understand so you've played it tens of times, and if someone says, what is this new expansion pack bringing to Empires of the North? What are these new characters like? That you understand,
for some games I do, but like Pret-a-Porter I got my own copy the day before Essen. And I hadn't played it before, so I learned it the evening before. I was with my own group from the Benelux, and we rented a bed and breakfast somewhere. And that evening we sat and we played, and I was like, "Oh, it's that easy!" And then I could explain it without any problems.
Nice. It's important to, and so when you're going out to demonstrate a game for a company, how do you think that Portal Games did a good job of supporting you and making sure that you know these games and that you're, like Saint mentions learning lots of the games demoed at the con during the setup time. Do you think it makes a big difference having the game like at least a day
for
or two
Portugal,
before?
I'm used to that. When we have the Dutch cons, the game is out already, so I know the rules by then. So that's easy, because we demo the games after the same games after Essen. So I have already demoed them. I teach them to people who didn't demo them, just to learn them faster. But there isn't any real preparation. You don't get the game ahead of time. You get the rule book ahead of time, but I'm more like, I want to touch and feel and move the pieces if I want to learn a game.
And what would you say they do well as a company for their demoers?
Oh, I like the whole atmosphere at the Portal booth at Essen. Everybody is very, hey, familiar shirt. The people are really nice. There's also a little game going on. There's a sort of tag game, and if you don't want to get tagged, you have to make a roof over your head. And the last person standing is the loser of the game, and that happens during convention. So while you're explaining the game, somebody gets tagged, and you see some them were running around through the tables, and everybody's doing this. It's really crazy, but it's fun.
So you've got these little. I mean, how does that not get in the way of you demoing the game if you are playing this game of tag? While you're trying
to I just let myself get tagged and let the countdown go down, because you have 30 seconds to tag somebody else, and it's like, I'm explaining a game, guys, come on. If I'm having lunch, I'm all over it during the game. And it depends. Sometimes I see in my demos that they are really surprised, and sometimes I get people I see every year and they know about it, and then it's like excuse me, and then I'm running around. And sometimes I'm just the last person, and I lost anyway. I did get Jason Levine once, and he had no clue what was going on. And I did tag Rodney Smith once.
Cool. And how does it feel to be playing and messing around with these somewhat big, well-known names?
That's awesome. I don't get starstruck that easily. So for me, they're just people who play board games. And that's what they always say when they're live. If you see them, just come over to me. We just want to say hi. Okay. Sometimes they're really, really busy. Like if they are in front of a camera, of course, you cannot bother them. But sometimes you can just walk to them. No problem. Sometimes you have to wait because there's a big line. Normally at the Dice Tower booth, there's always a big line. But now that I demo, I get in ahead an hour early. So I go to visit Suzanne, give her my apple pie, because I bake apple pie for Suzanne every year.
Oh, wow.
I talked to Mandy. I talked to Tom. I saw Matthew Jude for the first time at Essen last Essen, not previous year, because there wasn't a real Essen. So, DutchYoda Speelt. Yeah, that's when I was only Dutch. Speelt is the Dutch word for place.
And do you have anything? Did you have much interaction with Chivacek?
Not the last time, because he decided to do something differently. He said, "I'm only going to show up for my convention meeting." So he only showed up on Thursday evening until Saturday evening, and then he went away. So he wasn't there for build up. He wasn't there for teardown. So that was a little bit differently. So we talked during pizza time, which we always have at the Saturday evening. We get together and enjoy pizza together. And last time we also hang out with everybody else. with the whole Polish Portal group. We went to the same restaurant, so that was fun as well. And then I got to talk with Ignacy and everybody else.
Well, that's really cool. I think having these shared meals together is a wonderful thing. And I think that Xate is wondering how to get invited to the apple pie listing.
Well, if Essen is happening this year, I will make an extra apple pie. How about that? Last time I brought 2.
I mean, now everyone's going to want one.
Well, I'll make sure I'll have enough. Because I cannot make them at the bed of breakfast because I don't have an oven and will not bring all the ingredients. I make them 1 or 2 days before, and then I'll bring them. And I have to make sure that I have enough stuff to bring all those, because they're gonna squish each other. The bottom one will be a lot flatter than the top one. But yeah,
so the top one will be for the person that you love the most, and
yeah. But last time I only brought 2, and then I put a piece of cardboard between the 2, and they were okay. It stayed safe. And they had a bake drive or something at Essen in 2019, where you can bake a cake or pie, and then they sell slices, and it went to charity. So I baked one for that charity, and I baked one for Suzanne as well, of course, as promised.
Can you make a pie with a kettle? Asks Alex.
No idea. I don't own a
Do
kettle.
European hotels even have kettles? I don't think I've stayed at an actual hotel. I'd have to check with someone else. And Elaine asks, sir, did you pack this bag yourself? Are you aware that your luggage is literally nothing but apple pies?
Well, for me, it's just a 2-hour drive, so I don't get hauled by customs or anything. that's okay. But yeah, I travel with my game bag to Essen filled with goodies. So I also bring stroopwafels, of course, because every Dutch person that goes to Essen brings stroopwafels. They do, and share it with everybody. And yeah, apple pie, and I think I brought some speculaas, because that's also a nice Dutch treat. So I bring all the goodies. So you just have to find me, which is 50% of the time I will be at the portal booth.
We've got apparently offerings of a pie party. I am down for this. Sure.
Sounds like a plan.
Maybe one day, if Essen is happening, and if it seems safe for me to go, even if it doesn't make financial sense for me to go from a business point of view, I'll just, go as a person. And you know what, I might even go as a media person, because I guess I am a media person now.
Yeah. So am I now, so I can get a press pass.
Talking about media, so you do playthroughs and you do reviews. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, I do. Currently, I only do reviews for a Dutch site that's called Budget Spelen. So budget gaming. Only budget gaming also exists, but that's for video gaming. And Budget Spelen is for board games.
I think there was a review recently. I assume you had absolutely nothing to do with it, but they reviewed Yogi in maybe within the past couple of weeks. And then I left a message on their video. It was in English, where I basically said, I couldn't understand this at all, but I watched it all, and it was really fun to see them kind of showing off the game.
Yeah, don't ask me to do Yogi, because no. you just saw how flexible I am, so I'm not flexible enough to do that. So I don't know if anybody did Yogi, but if they did, yeah, it could be. Yeah. So I currently started doing video reviews. I have to record 2 more this evening. After I'm done streaming, I have to record those. So a busy day. Oh, is it stretch time already?
Yeah, it's been another nearly an hour. It's been 50 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So, do you prefer pre-recorded content or live?
I prefer to do live, but for reviews, I think, yeah, pre-recorded, because if you mess up, then you can alternate, make changes and everything.
So have you ever done live reviews?
No, I have not. I've only recorded them. I have given my opinion on games, but not really reviews.
I was thinking of doing for games that have actually asked for, or then I'm thinking of starting a thing where I do the long and short of it. So I would sort of be talking about the game. The long of it is just me talking about it for however long, maybe for an hour and a half, even if it's a party game. I might still talk about it for a very long time. And then afterwards, I will do a tiny review of maybe like 2 minutes or something with a bit more energy and a bit more focus. So, because I, myself as a viewer, I know that I it depends what you want. Like if you just want company, if you're watching it live, then I'm all over that live streaming, and I'd be like, oh, you know what? Matthew Dunstan's talking about. I mean, Matthew Dunstan doesn't do this, but let's say if someone were to talk about some game for a couple of hours, but oh, okay, that's interesting. They're talking about Flea for a couple of hours, or they're talking about I don't know, Flamingo Power, which isn't even a game, or Pandemic Legacy Season 2, since that's on screen, for a couple of hours, then, you know, you get involved in the conversation and then you enjoy the in-depth discussion. But if it's, and even there, I think if I'm watching someone live and I ask a question, I kind of expect it to be answered. I expect to have at least within a couple of minutes for someone to kind of talk about, yeah, to kind of reply to you. If you say, hey, what about this? Then you expect people to at least acknowledge what you are saying. And if it's like, okay, we go half an hour and then the person doesn't even, I know it's different styles, but if I'm just there to learn about the game, I want slap, slap, slap. Let's just have the facts, man. Let's go for 1, 2, 3 minutes. And if it's like a review and it's longer than 10 minutes, I'm not going to watch that, certainly not on normal speed. Maybe like a Dice Tower review, I might watch Tom Vassell on double speed, and I'll skip, bits of it, because who needs to watch the first, 10, 15 seconds of that? It's always the same. And, you know what I mean? Like, it's, why are you watching this review? Are you just watching it because you want to know more about this game? Or are you watching it because you want to be part of the conversation and just hear a bit of blethering on?
Yeah, for me, it's like if I don't know the game, I want to see how it works as well. Otherwise, I will skip to the end and just hear the opinion. If I already know the game, I just want to hear the opinion, and I'll see if I agree or disagree. But I rarely reply to YouTube videos. I don't post comments on them or anything.
And yeah, talking of acknowledging comments, Alex, trouble with my internet just now. Bez doing board games things for just fun. Pie party sounds like chaos, says Elaine. May have watched too many silent comedies though, and apparently that kind of pie party is not allowed in the flat. There is no deposit, but still, Sate might not want to burn bridges. I have a top secret inn with a very good set of apartments for less money than a hostel. So yeah, there we go. And Obviously, no pun included, reviews can be as long as they want. Are those reviews or high art? Asks Xate. I mean, this is a thing because, again, with no pun included, it's not just. And I feel weird saying this because I can't even see Elaine's face to judge how Elaine's reacting. And it's. But, yes, no pun included, tell you what they think of the game. But it's kind of that same category as Shut Up and Sit Down, where I think, look, Tom Vassell does it in a very formulaic manner. Same with that Z Garcia, who does the whole Target thing. And you could I remember when they did the review of Yogi and they were saying, okay, let's talk about the theme of Yogi. Well, yeah, and then they were clearly struggling with some of the aspects. And hey, let's talk about the strategies that you have in this game. And it's like, yeah, how do you talk about that? But when you have something, I mean, that is very much okay, this is what I think people will want to know. I'm going to make sure that this is that. And honestly, even when I did my review of Pandemic Legacy Season 1, if you want to go back like a couple of hundred episodes, it does have loads of spoilers, but I clearly mark at the bottom of the screen when it's got spoilers. I'll probably do a similar thing for My City, like spend half an hour or so talking about it as much as I can without spoilers, and then talking about the spoilers, because I think that you have to be willing to appreciate and critique these games if you want to critique them fully, with everything that's gone in the game. But yeah, with Shut Up and Sit Down, or no pun included, then it becomes, hey, it's not just giving you the facts, it's turning this into comedy, it's prioritizing how entertaining is this. Because at the end of the day, yeah, are we listening to this to better understand the board game craft? In which case, sure, there will be revelations along the way. Or are we watching this because we want to be entertained? And there's definitely a bunch of overlap, but you get what I'm saying, don't you?
Yeah, I get it. And I think videos should be informative and, if possible, also entertaining.
And yeah, 100%. And I think, in a way, this is why I personally prefer live content, doing it. Because in a lot of ways, it feels... I'm not going to say easier, because there's obviously different difficulties, but it is easier in a lot of ways. No one would ever expect me to edit any of these shows. It's just, bloop, this is a show, and if I go offline, well, we'll make it work. Chris will replace me, or the guests will talk to themselves or something. And Xate apparently learned Dutch whilst watching you, and that is why Xate. And so there's another reason to watch a review.
Yeah, I hope to get more Dutch audiences because, there is a Dutch gaming scene, but there isn't really one online. Everything goes through Instagram, or there are some podcasts, but there isn't really a Dutch video review. Well, Anna Wassenberg from the Dice Tower, which also works for the same Dutch site as I do, does the Dutch video reviews, and we have Nox, who does Dutch video reviews, but there aren't that many. So yeah, I try to do them now as well, just to grow the Dutch hobby, well, in Dutch. And I'm happy that more Dutch companies are picking up English titles to publish in Dutch, but sometimes it will take a while. Well, it looks almost similar. I think
I think you. I mean, I don't know. Are you wanting feedback on your physical appearance, or would you prefer not to?
I'm okay. I know I have.
I was going to say I like you more with the facial hair. I think it does really suit you. The picture with your bare face was.
So
not so great.
can you go back one picture?
I mean, as in, I'm not saying it was bad. That's not me being polite. I mean, literally, you looked great, but it was not so great.
Yeah. Can you go back one picture? And guess where is the apple pie?
In the blue suitcase.
No, it's in the game bag.
In the game bag? Oh,
Yep.
in the black bag.
In the
Okay.
black bag. It's in there. And the plastic bag in front of it is full with stroopwafels.
Nice. And Elaine lets us know that Elaine and Efka do try and look at each game on its own merits. When we do a video, we try and make it entertaining because people learn more easily when something is entertaining. That's all, really.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
I like that approach. And for sure, like, yeah, there's something here. Like, if I were to do a 1 hour review of my City on my stream, which I probably will do at some point, that's not going to be as good as if I had scripted every bit of that 1 hour. But in another sense, it's like, yeah, maybe the bladder is fun. I don't know. Somehow people keep tuning in. Sorry, I just saw this. Trick question. All of them are apple pies.
Well, I still need a fresh set of clothes if I'm staying a week in Germany. That's in the blue
otherwise
suitcase.
people could get a bit annoyed with you.
Yeah, and I got one bag full of deodorant because I know I sweat a lot and I need a lot during Essen.
I'm slightly surprised you bother taking any games at all to Essen. Like, for myself, I take my stock and sure, I take maybe, an open copy of a couple of things for demoing, but beyond that, it's... Yeah, I'm expecting to grab a couple of games, and if I play any games in the evenings, which I have done a couple of times, it's going to be something that I just bought. Well, more likely just traded for. But yeah. So I'm slightly surprised that you take a big black case full of games.
No, there aren't games, there are apple pies in there.
Okay,
After
so
that,
it's just full of apple pies.
Well, it's filled until about half, and then the other half is empty. And then I turn in all my apple pies, and then I take games back with me.
And Xates only takes games to trade. That makes a lot of sense. And Rob, talking about, no pun included, enjoys the humor, but also likes how some folk adapt the format to fit the game. This is fair, and it's like, yeah, how do you explain this game? But it's also, yeah, you draw your own crowd, don't you? Like, people have to have an idea of what kinds of review you're doing. So tell us a little bit more about your reviews. What kind of reviews do you do and playthroughs?
I think mine are mostly like how Tom Vessel does it. A little bit of intro, then explaining the game, and then giving my opinion at the end. That's about it. That's how I do it currently. I haven't found my real, this is how I want to do it, because I like that format, and I know I'm not funny. So trying to be funny and entertaining is a little bit hard for me, because I have a very specific type of humor which will offend a lot of people. Not really, but they don't understand it. It's not like I say offensive stuff, but it sounds rude, if you know what I mean. It's straight to the point, and it's more sarcastically. And if you don't get it, then yeah, it's totally getting lost on you. So I don't think it will work on board game reviews.
I mean, there's at least two people here who find you funny.
Oh, well, that's good to know. Yeah, maybe when I'm talking English, I'm funny, but if I'm talking Dutch, I'm definitely. A couple of weeks ago, I had some people really getting annoyed with me just because I said one thing, and I was just being straightforward, and I didn't offend them really or anything. It's just, yeah, we know that, and it's like, oh, sorry, I said that. And the Brits love
Are you willing to
sarcasm.
tell us about what this is, or
I
would
don't
you
recall what
rather
I
avoid it?
actually. I don't recall what I actually said and what the whole situation is. I only know their response. They were like, "Yeah, we know that," and it's like, "Oh, sorry, just trying to break the ice." Oh, the laminating party, that was fun.
Ah, what's the top right?
The top right, that's awkward guests.
That's okay. That's not one I'm familiar with. What did you think
That
of it?
I like it. I prefer it with as much people as possible, as many people as possible, because I played it with three, and then it's okay. But when we played it with eight, it was really fun because you shuffle around, and it's really a race to who figures the murder out the first. As for who is the first one to have all of the things correct. And my father was, I got it, and he got it wrong. And then he's one turn. Then he has to skip one turn, and then that turn I got it correctly because I needed one more clue. It was 50-50 on the murder weapon for me, and I needed one more clue, and then I got that clue, and I was okay, I'm done. I know it.
Nice. What would you say are your favorite kinds of games now to play?
Oh, right now,
Hmm.
I hope the game has a solo mode because I don't have my son all the time. So if I want to play a game, I don't go to visit my parents every night because they have also stuff to do. So if it's soloable, please. And I like all the games. I don't own that many party games though. It's not that I don't like them. It's like, but I can give them to other people, which I know they like, and then I don't have to give in some shelf space.
Is it that you don't have big crowds around that often, or is it
Well,
just that you would
current,
always prefer to have a big meaty experience?
well, when I'm with a big crowd, it's rarely at my place. So why should the game be here? Just have the game somewhere else. Oh, those look familiar. I sent those
Hmm.
out this year as well.
Oh, it's a lovely thing. It's a lovely idea from Joy.
Yeah,
And talking of rolling rights, I think that brings us neatly. And this is where I kind of wish that I had, if I had planned this show a little bit better, I feel like I would have banners saying, okay, here's what we're going to talk about. But, you know, from a very selfish point of view, it has to be, I do enjoy the fact that we can just meander and just see where things turn up. But it brings us to your rolling right, which you made not too long ago for Idol Michael's IdolCon. Yeah, it was called
yeah.
IdolCon.
I'll
So was that the first game that you'd ever made?
No. I have a couple of designs I have shelved currently. I did make one game that was also a roll and write, which was really, really bad. That was for a convention that was work related. That was for my own company to spread around as a marketing tool. And that worked perfectly because most of them weren't heavy gamers. So a little roll and write to create squares and fill in a field that worked perfectly, and it was very simple and it was really unbalanced, but people liked it, so I was happy about that. And this was the real first one that I finished after that. So this, Orleans flip and write that I created, and I never played Orleans before. So I ordered Orleans, got it at home, looked at the rules, and thought, okay, it needs to be a little bit like that, and then I created the flip and write.
Okay, so you've read the rules to Orleans, even
Yeah.
though you've never played it. So it was
Yeah.
still very much inspired by that.
Yeah, it was very much inspired because I was chatting with Michael during his stream. But we were talking about the suits of cards, and then I was looking at the history of suits of cards, and then it says it was a nobleman's scholarship and everything. And I thought, that sounds like a little bit like Orleans. So why not make an Orleans roll flip and write? Orleans, right? Yeah, I don't know if I'm allowed to use
Orleans
the
and
name.
right. You have to go
It's
to Orleans and send postcards.
No, you just paint graffiti
No,
on the wall.
it's like an actual. You go to Orleans and. And so, yeah, Rob's quite amused by internet. And yeah, I'm just also laughing at the sarcasm earlier.
Yeah, I'm reading it as well.
We definitely love sarcasm. It's brilliant and has no downsides. Pretty sure I don't like sarcasm at all. Ever. You're not a Brit. I am not a Brit. And sarcasm detector explodes. Did you get the Acme sarcasm detector Aqua? Those are notoriously weak. The NHS sarcasm and trace service is world beating. The guy who sold it to me told me it was really durable and made a beeper go off to show it was working. I like that. It is important to have a very targeted focus this year to finally eliminate that pesky sarcasm once and. But yeah, talking about Orleans and right, or sorry, let's not call it that. Let's call it.
Yeah, I have to think of a new name of it.
What are your goals for that?
My goals for that are making a really finished game, so balanced and everything. The biggest comment I got back was that Suit of Hearts wasn't really balanced, and I figured that I was done by then because it was 2 a.m. when I finished the sheet, and I was really tired. So I thought it might be unbalanced, and so I need to figure that one out and really make sure it's a thing. Get it signed with the publisher would be fun, or just make it a free print and play. That could also work. I'm not sure yet. Just getting it out there and have people enjoy the game, that's the most important part. But if I can get it signed,
why do you think?
You go.
And what do you think makes this game worth working on as opposed to another game that you might have the idea for? Because that's kind of a question that has to be asked at some point.
This one is currently drawing my attention because when I got the idea of making it based on Orleans, I really got motivated. So I got the momentum going. So that's why I'm really thinking about doing this game. There was another game that I also had in prototype version, and then that Street Fighter like card game came out, Combo Fighter from Colossal, and that was my game was really similar to that. So I was like, okay, let's shelve that and maybe rethink about that one.
Rob says it was one of the most ambitious games from IdleCon, and it was impressive work.
Well, thank you. I made it in like 4 hours.
I'd like to
So
hear
I'm happy
what
to do that.
people think, whether it's from you, Yoda, or from people who've played it, because I know that Rob, Alex, and Xates have all given it a go. So, what do you see as the best parts of this game currently? What do you see as the spirit of the game?
No, the goal of the game
And
is
actually,
to
can you
get
take a step back and explain the
step back.
game for those who don't know it?
Well, basically, you have 3 rounds when you draw 2 cards. You choose one suit, and it's all based on suits. And there's a different how do you call it? Not all suits are equally divided into the deck. You have to prepare a deck, so there are a
Okay.
little less hearts, and there are more of clubs. Those are the most common, because the hearts are the scholars, the clubs are the common people. Then I don't know which names I gave them anymore. Let me cheat and look it up. I don't know. So yeah, we have the scholars, the soldiers are the spades, the merchants are the diamonds, and the peasants are the clubs, which are the most into the in the deck. And the soldiers and merchants are equally divided. And then I was, and then you shuffle the deck, you draw two, you pick one, and you just mark that you picked that one. And then you can create combinations to get other things, like with 3 peasants you get a merchant or a soldier, and like that. And then you can mark them off on a technology track, which is, if you have two of the same, you mark one space off. And the more common thing is, the more spaces you need to cross off before that track scores points. That was my original idea. But there's also a separate part where you draw lines to houses and fill in those cities, and that's like the city building, the market building part of Orleans. So you need to spend people to maybe draw a line, then build a house, and then draw another line, because you cannot draw a line if the city isn't built. And then at the end of the round, you multiply your points on the technology track times the cities you build. And then you do that 3 rounds, and then the one with the high scores wins, or you just try to beat your own score. But the hearts are overpowered, so everybody uses hearts to go them on the technology track, so you get an easy 5 points at the end of the game. And I'm thinking about using hearts to on other places as well, so you have to choose where you want to use your hearts, so it's not the only the 5 points you will get.
Okay. Would you care to answer the questions from Xate? Firstly, are you now interested in Orleans?
I bought it the same day. It arrived the same day. So I bought it during the first stream. I bought it at the toy store because they had it on sale. So Faith helped me with it. And it should deliver the next day, but they delivered it the same day. So, and then I played it at my parents' the next day. So I already own it and I already played it.
Nice. And do you want to keep it using a standard card deck or design your own cards?
If I do make it a free print and play, then it will stay the same, because then people only need to buy a deck of cards, and then, or most people will have a deck of cards at home, I think. Otherwise, I have to design, and I could do that. But if I get it signed with a publisher, they can do whatever they want with it. They can make their own deck and everything. At that point, I don't have that much influence anymore.
I mean, for sure, if you're wanting to make it into a proprietary thing and make it its own thing, and if your ambition is to have it signed, it feels like exploring what can be done with some custom cards seems like the better way to go. And
that's true.
In this day and age, you could even, I don't know if you saw what Alex did with, sorry, can you remind me of the name of your game, Alex? You know, the science fiction, putting different numbers in different places, and each turn you roll, I think it's like 3 numbers. And Alex, anyway, had a Word document where you kind of click the button to say, okay, these are the things that appear this turn. These are the dice rolls that appear this turn. You could do something similar. Seasons in Space, thank you. So it's called Seasons in Space, and it's like TV seasons. When I saw it, I thought it was something to do with Seasons, the board game, but it was totally not. But anyway, so Alex had, okay, here's the die rolls for round 1, here's the die rolls for round 2. And so even if people do it at different times, they don't need to watch a video, they just click the buttons and then go through, and it's like any number of people can play with exactly the same die rolls, if you know what I mean, which is an interesting one. And I was just thinking that if you wanted, you could do something for cards, just kind of have a spoiler tag or something, and it's like, okay, these are the cards that you see on the first turn, these are the cards that you see on the second turn. So then someone can potentially even play along with it. If you share print and play privately and share this link privately, then it can be okay. People can play along to it and try it out themselves. Or apparently there's something that Vim made for Patchwork Doodle. I don't know what was done there, but maybe you're familiar with this.
What did Vim make for Patchwork Doodle? I don't recall.
I have no idea, so please let us know.
Yeah. I know for Loser, I keep track for Trails of Tucana, which has the same idea as I have. Only you draw 2 cards. That's where I got the idea. Only then you need to draw a line between the 2 landscapes that you drew. And I keep track of the cards that were drawn each round.
Being able to challenge people asynchronously against the same random sequence is great, says Rob. I would 100% agree. And Alex says it's just a bit of HTML code, so presumably, because that's your profession, I'm sure that you could set that up quite easily if we were to want to show a sequence of custom cards. And
I don't recall seeing the Patchwork
Vim
Doodle one.
some sorts of websites for several flip and rights games random. Don't know what happened, but that's something that I guess you could explore. I'm just thinking that it's definitely okay. People are always going to have to either draw out the paper or print it or use some sorts of image manipulation on screen. But if you wanted to explore, okay, what can be done with the other nice thing about, with custom cards, you don't need to start loading it up with information. I would say that you don't need to feel, oh, it's custom cards, therefore I need to have lots going on in this one. I need to have lots going on in the other one. It can sometimes be just a case of, okay, it's nicer art and there's a slightly different of numbers that works slightly better for this thing. Or be
and it can
1 in 5 has.
Yeah, and I could use real suits, different shapes and colors, or for the suits instead of the basic suits, of course.
Hmm. I mean, like you don't need to have special instructions on every single card. It can be like
No,
like even if you wanted to, okay, what would it look like with occasional special instructions on the card? What if there was something on that came out? It's worth exploring. Feel like this has been a really nice getting to know you chat.
yeah,
I would suggest that at this point we yeah, Rod exactly says Rob. Rather than to remember what suits his scholars, the card could just say scholars and have an
yeah,
icon
that's
that's
true.
appropriate to scholars, and it could actually fit the theme. The other thing I would say is that as you are you going to pitch to the publisher of Orleans because that's perfectly viable to do, or what I would suggest in of exploring what other themes could it have, try and make it its own thing potentially. Bearing in mind, yeah, you might want to pitch it as an Orleans roll and write, or you might also pitch it as its own entity, and giving yourself that flexibility and moving it away without losing its essence might be the ideal.
That sounds like a solid thing to do. The idea of pitching it to the publisher of Orleans did cross my mind, but maybe reteaming it would work. Currently, yeah, I call it Orleans Roll, right? But you could release think of anything else as well. So yeah, and I'm not sure. You could reteam it. I haven't
Okay,
really thought about it.
I would suggest that we put it on hold for a moment. I don't know how, and also I notice my internet, I'm seeing myself flicker in and out, and I'm hearing you come and go, so it's difficult to maintain. Rob said you could theme it and pitch it to the publishers of or say that you think it could work well as an Orleans spin-off. There we go. It took like
Thank you for the suggestion.
and yeah, all these options are available. I would suggest that if I were to suggest what to do before the next fortnight, I would suggest making sure the game's in a place that we can play together on screen. And next time, let's maybe play through it, talk about it, and then really get started with where you want to go and then the next step. I would suggest for yourself, just have a look over at the rules, change anything. Seems like an easy check right now. And maybe change the name. And I would be of a similar mind to maybe de-theme it somehow.
Yeah. Well, the team isn't very heavy anyway. Just rename the suits and don't call them cities, and yeah, I'm basically done.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Give it a new name, even if it's Yoda's
I will.
idol roll and write. Yoda right. Yoda right. Yoda lightsaber.
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm
no, not going to Star Wars team. Then I will get Disney on me. So no.
And Alex is suggesting playing Orleans and seeing how close it was, but I understood you already have played Orleans.
Yeah, and I wanted to lose some stuff from it. So the normally in Orleans you have a river and you have a road. So I combined those. You just have one road, and if to travel that you draw the line. That's the idea of drawing the line. And yeah, in Orleans there are more different kind of professions, and I simplified that because I only had 4 suits in a card game.
Hmm. I mean, even with a tradition, even if you are using traditional cards, I would suggest that there are ways of, if only one quality card, you could mix 2 decks. Many people do have 2 decks, and you could see the faces and aces of this value mean one thing, the numbers of this value mean the other thing. It's not that there are numbers, but maybe, yeah, numbers mean, and you don't need to make it match entirely. I mean, played Empires of the North and I played the Role, and it's like, okay, there's a lowering of resources because, you know, you maybe it doesn't, you know, is such a thing as Dave Turksey's Roman, right? But that's very much its own beast. So at this point,
Yeah, I
I
haven't
think
played
that we should
Roman.
start to wrap up.
Yeah.
So, to recap, what have we been chatting about? We've chatted about recent highlights, folk coming out of hospital, furnace, parenting, brilliant thing, seeing children go up, and hollandaise sauce, and Holland only referring to the densest part of the Netherlands. Siblings going on camping trips, fighting with judo, and doing incredibly well at school, being 2 years ahead, starting off working at the Green Grocers, moving on to code many websites, fall back in love with games after Settlers of Catan, going back into Robinson Crusoe, having that meeting folk. We talked a wee bit about obviously how you started off and your relationship with your parents and your child. About your motivations, that your motivation is partially that you're just, for whatever reason, you found yourself that you are motivated to do this one particular project, so you'd like to pursue that. And having a wee bit of overview, and we finished with some vague possible to-dos, which might be to ponder, you know, what direction you'd like to take it in. It sounds like, you know, you are happy with this game. You either want, whether it's a print and play or whether something that you want to pursue it and see where this goes. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Then we talked about the goal for the next fortnight could be to just make sure that there's some system that we can all play together. Maybe thing like what Alex did, set up a few games. I think that would be really cool. I mean, yeah, I know that it was really simple, but I thought that technology, not in terms of, it was such a simple and effective solution to, and it makes such a big difference. And I think that explore that, make any big changes that you think you'd like to make, and then next time I think it'll make sense. Fingers crossed, I'll have better internet. We'll play through it. We'll have a chat about it, and then we'll chat about where it can go and all sorts of things.
Sounds like a good plan.
Do you have anything else that you would like to say at this point?
No. Nope. Nothing I can think of.
What? Well, if you want to check me out, I am, of course, stuffbabez.com, stuffbabez.baker.com, twitter.com/stuffbabez, instagram.com/stuffbabez, twitch.tv/stuffbabez, where I am streaming at 10 a.m. UK time every day, or go to youtube.com/stuffbabez for the old shows, or stuffbabez.com/discord. Please go there. There's the cat chats, there's music chats. I'm surprised that Alex hasn't been into music chats yet. And there's like all sorts of things going on in there. And I'm going to have a, what's the words I'm looking for? a thing on 6 game jam, that's the word. Anyway, so looking at Yoda, where do you like to be found? Walk us through this.
Yeah, I stream on Saturday and Sunday, 7 p.m. Central European time. On Saturdays, I stream in Dutch, and on Sundays, I stream in English. And for the rest, yeah, if you look for DutchYoda Plays, you can find me almost everywhere. And I write and currently also record videos for budgetspelen.nl, which is a Dutch game site. Oh, I've taken over the whole screen.
No, I'm still here. I just felt it was appropriate for the size of that text. It seemed quite appropriate.
Yeah,
Firstly,
that's true.
I want to say massive thank you to everyone. So thank you for being here today. Thank you for listening to what we have to say. Thank you. And now I'm going to say, it is over to you. What are you up to? You can share anything you want to. Genuinely, thank you very much to Yoda for wanting to get involved in this experiment. I hope that obviously you get something out of it, and if it works well, then I guess we'll have maybe potentially more people on in the future to because I really like, and a shout out to Mike Belsole and Gradle, who set up the mentorship program. Thanks to them, thanks to Matthew Dunstan, thank you to everyone watching, and thank you to Idol Michael, who facilitated this thing.
Yeah.
So now,
thank you all.
what is everyone up to today for the next couple of days? Yoda.
Okay, well, after this, I will bring my son back to my ex-wife, and then he will stay there for 2 weeks. Then I'll go visit my parents because I left some picture frames over there, which I needed for some posters that I want to hang on some walls. Then I'm going home, learn myself the solo mode for Tawan Tinshu, get ready for the stream for tonight, which will be in Dutch.
Nice. I think my goals are going to be... Oh yeah, I've got a couple of things that I need to do today for work. And other than that, just, spending time with parents. And I might be, again, I'm to be saying, hey, I've got this game, we must play it. But, parents are quite willing to try out my city. If they've got the energy today, we will start that, probably at least the first chapter. We'll see how it goes. I read through the rules last night. It seems like something relatively simple. They will get on okay with it.
Yeah, it's not that hard.
It's very much multiplayer solitaire. So if anyone else has anything that they want to share, Alex apparently wants to share that they don't like music, which is, of course, a callback to the earlier thing about British people liking sarcasm. And yep, stream elements, that is appropriately timed. If you want to draw a cat, then feel free to go there and share it. And if anyone else wants to say anything else, then feel free. Otherwise, for my next streams, look at stuffbybez.com/streams. What is coming up? I still don't know what I'm going to be reviewing tomorrow. I'll probably just give... tomorrow's going to be probably quite a short stream, given that, not really playing any new games. Man, back in the day, when I say back in the day, I mean like 2 months ago, I used to be playing at least 5 new games that I hadn't played in the past few months, each week. Like, okay, I've played these 5 games, I'd play at least, maybe 5, 6 games a week, and it's while I've just played these, I can talk about them. Yeah, but of course, the priority is on the people around. Anyway, I'll work out what I'm reviewing in some form. It might just be a couple of podcasts. Then Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday is just going. Well, Monday is going to be chaotic shenanigans. Tuesday and Thursday it's going to be musical shenanigans. So just playing the music. Wednesday, I'm going to be redoing part 3 of Warlock Firetop Mountain because we died. So we're just going to pretend that never happened and go back to part 3.
Just rewrite.
Friday is, of course, friendly. Yeah, it's the way you do it with Game Book. Oh, you know what I might review tomorrow? I might give my initial thoughts of Alba, that new book by Inside the Box. I've got a PDF of that. So I will tell you what I think of it so far, and I've been asked not to give too many spoilers away, but I might read something from the first chapter to kind of give an idea of the writing. It will be right at the start. Friday is, of course, more shenanigans. Everyone is always welcome to join in on. Let's have some surprise guests. I have reached a couple of people who can't join, but might be able to join my streams like 11:30 p.m. a.m. Sorry, and I've said, well, if you can only join at 11 or 11, that's totally appropriate, as long as it's on a Friday, and it'll talk all about you. And Saturday, hopefully, we'll have good internet again. We will see. And Matt Warwick. So that is for my next streams. And so, yep. We have Rob saying, I don't like board games. I don't like Rob, Aqua, and Dutch. And the Groundhog of Firetop Mountain. You know what? Groundhog Day would be an interesting, if you actually themed a game around that. That would be cool. But yeah. The last thing I always do is to...
Groundhog Day sounds like a roll and ride. Because you know your first random events, and then you try to do better with the same random events.
Huh. Maybe but with Groundhog Day, it's not like you know everything. I mean, Bill Murray still had to...
depending on your choices, new events will evolve, of course. Sounds like a fun game.
Yeah, maybe if it's from several decks, and each game you're kind of picking up different bits from different decks. And so then you learn more about what's within these things and what opportunities they're going to present. That could definitely be interesting. Groundhog Roland writes, just sounds like a good idea, says Rob. I order Warlock Pie Mountain. Oh, I like that. Yeah. Oh my god. What's that game? Scythe, My Little Scythe, Roll and Write, baking a Roll and Write that's all about baking pies and then throwing the pies at each other and delivering the gems to the mountain. Just an idea. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of. Time stories, yep. So Xate already plays the islands that way. I am struggling to load up Twitch. You know what? With my internet, I'm just not going to be able to be present for whoever we go. Oh my gosh. Okay. My Little Pies.
Apple pies.
Oh, My Little Apple Pies. Oh, you're baking little miniature apple pies. Oh my gosh, a cook and write, where other people then grade it based on the quality of the pies, or an eat and write. Okay, an eat and write, where you're eating this and there's random ingredients in the pies. So you've got like a spicy pie, you've got some, maybe a leek pie, a savory pie, you've got an apple pie, a blueberry pie, and so forth. Yes, and no, not poo. No, not poo. Some of the and then the type of pie that you get affects what you're. I don't know what's. Anyway. No, you don't have to make the came in. Okay, completely else. I meant the dead pies.
Paiola.
Oh, the pie. Oh, I love that. Oh my gosh, that's brilliant. Okay.
You only pie twice.
Yeah. Anyway. Pie another day. Pie or pie trying. Pie or pie pieing. Well, oh man. Okay.
I'm starting a new company called Board and Pies.
Yes, do it. And every yes, they are basically selling pies, and they just have all you need is a hex stamp on the top, and people will flock. All you need is a meeple or a little hex and some little token idea. People, oh, it's board game themed. Let's see. Yeah. Pie Express. I'm struggling to flash these all up because of my internet. But Pie Express, Tawa Pie, Underwater Pies, Piedemic Legacy, yep, Pie Another Day. It should be Pie Another Tray.
Yeah, Pie Another.
Patchwork Pie. Oh, that could totally be a thing. Elgron Pie, Fire Pie, Forbidden Pie. Okay, Forbidden Pie. That's actually good. Forbidden Pie. That's actually rhymes. I like that. Yeah. Mountain of Pies. Tinner's Pie. Forbidden Pie. I don't even understand what's going on anymore. Like, okay. Anyway, so yeah, we're not going to raid today because my internet is. I'm just going to say I'm not going to raid. I can't see anyone. So for now, all that's left to do is to say pie, pie, pie. This is the pie song. Pie, 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 pie. Thank you for pieing along. Pie, 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 pie. This is the end of the pie. Pie, pie, pie. And now it's pie to pie. Pie, 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 pie. This is the pie song. Pie, 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 pie. Thank you for pie along. Pie, 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 pie. This is the end of the pie. Pie, 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 pie. And oh man, my pie. What? Okay, so that's kind of like my city. Oh yeah, okay. Pie City. Yeah, Pie City works better. Yeah, Pie City. I like Pie City.
Yeah, but there's already a game called Pie Town.
Well, this is Pie City. It's one better. Exactly. Oh yeah, Sage makes a good point. It should be thank you for baking along. Yep. Okay. Piper.
No, Jai Pie.
Thank you for I don't want to be a pie. I don't like gravy along. Ticket to Pie. Oh, Pies of Catan. Pie to ride. Oh, so you've got a little pie, and it's just so the pie is like traveling along, and maybe you've got to get the pie to your loved one. you know, maybe it's your dad, maybe it's your mom, maybe it's your grand aunt Dorothea, I don't know. And then you've got to get the pie to ride. Yeah, you've got to get the pie to ride along. And you've got to get the pie in transit. Yep. Pie Leon. Pie Minion. Yep. Deck build. Oh, you know what? There isn't a deck building game about making pies, is there?
I don't think so.
I think that's a gap in the market. We need a deck building game about making your own pie runner. That's a game about, you know, you're a pie delivery person. You're just running along. You're trying to get the pies to all the people. And every time you get people like, oh, that's a great pie. And you need to run to them as fast as you can so that the pie's still hot when they get it. Ride of pies. Gloom pie. Is this how long's this been to last? Scotland pie. Sherlock Holmes. On the salt sing pie. Why can't I click these? I wish I had better internet. I can't even click these pieing.
Yeah, they're coming up.
Now I'm going to use the word pie. Whenever I want to say a swear word, I'm always just going to say the word pie. This pieing internet. Why the pie is it not working? Like in a pie. Oh, so this is about people who are trapped in a pie and they're trying to get out. It's like an escape room. Pie builders. Oh, trying to build the world's biggest pie. So you're not just baking it anymore. You are constructing it with blocks of. I have actual bricks of crust, and then you, instead of having like chunks of apple, you just shove entire apples in there. Vast. The apple pie saga. King of pies. Lord of the pies. Perfect pies.
Yeah. Pie havoc.
Pie havoc. Pie society. Obscure pies. Carpe pie. Trails of pie. Pie-L. Pie-phoria. Pie Station. Odin's Pies. Oh my god. Pie Railroads. Pussy. I don't even know what game this one is. Pussy Pie. Oh, okay. Yep. As opposed to Kitty Cataclysm. As opposed to Kitty Cataclysm, it's to keep the alliteration. Pussy Pie Copolypse. Hello, Sarah. This is the most insane. You have walked into the middle of. Normally, this is a bye-bye song, but people have just gotten into. What if every game were about pies? What if every board game out there was about heaven and pie? Pardon?
Tides of pie.
Tides of pie. Twatawa pie. 7 pies. Machi pie. Exactly what have you walked into?
Rattle battle and grab the pie.
Oh man. Okay. Piacrony. Okay. I am not. Okay. That's it. No more. No more. No more. I can't take this. The adventure
from mystery pies.
No, this is too much. Oh, Piefall. Pie City. Oh, Pie City Oceana. So like everyone's trying to construct the biggest building that can hold your pies. So Pido. Holding pie. Oh my gosh, that could be like a don't tip the waiter game. Holding pie. It could be like don't tip the waiter. So this is a kids game where there's a waiter and then it balances and you need to put on plates and stuff. So yeah, it's more and more pies. And the troubled pies of Billy Kerr. Yeah, Billy Kerr is just not a good enough cook. You need to come to terms with that. And at the end of the game, spoiler alert.
Of mine.
Spoiler alert. Billy Kerr works out that Billy Kerr will just never be able to cook. It is honestly a big tragedy. It's a really sad game, The Troubled Pies of Billy Kerr.
Yeah, I'd rather play this pie of mine.
Oh man. Roll through the pies. Oh, this is no. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, I am going to okay.
No,
It's
it's Twilight Imperium. Come on. It's not Twilight Pies 4, it's Twilight Imperium.
Yep, Pielight Imperium. Pielight, yep. Pielight Imperium. So you've got a pie, and then you set a fire into it, and that is, of course, what a pielight is.
Let's set it on fire. En flambe.
I love pies. Thank you very much for following. Just to explain, oh my God, what is going on? What is going on? Like I've been trying to stop for like 10 minutes now. Thank you very much, Sarah, for following. I stream every day at 10 a.m. UK time, and it's normally about board games, although next week there's going to be a lot of chaotic shenanigans. I've got terrible internet. Tuesday and Thursday are going to be musical streams. 8 minutes pie. Pie Lorette. Oh, okay. Oh, anyone who follows during this fits in here perfectly. Yeah, but I will agree with that. The cousin's pie. Okay. Yeah. Okay, that is it. Well, bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye. Thank you for baking along. Bye. This is the end of the pie. Bye. And now it's pie. Pie. This is a goodbye song. Pie. Thank you for baking along. Pie. And this is the end of the pie. Pie. And now it's time to bye. Bye.